You can talk about the courage that you showed back in the war, how you felt no fear and always stood your ground. But let me tell you, stranger, you don't know the name of danger till you've ridden the Cathlamet across the Sound. When the fog is thick as syrup and the night is getting dark and the children have been safely tucked in bed, it's then and only then Mukilteo's bravest men dare to speak the name that fills their hearts with dread. She's the terror of the inland seas, a monster of the waves, and you'll find her on the Whidbey Island top. Tell us why it is, Cathlamet, when you see a dock you ram it, and why nothing seems to make you want to stop. You recall the day in April back in 1982. She was loading at the Mukilteo stop, but she lurched out in the water like she clearly hadn't taught her, and a fancy German auto went kerplop. And while that alone was bad enough to give commuters fits, pretty soon there came another little shock. Though her captain hit the brake, she decided she would take several sections off the Whidbey Island dock. She's the terror of the inland seas, a monster of the waves, and you'll find her on the Whidbey Island top. Tell us why it is, Cathlamet, when you see a dock you ram it, and why nothing seems to make you want to stop. The consultants blamed computers that controlled the way she ran, though they were the most expensive ones to date. Experts looked at every part, which of course was state of art, but the art seemed in a dreadful sort of state. So they tossed aside the troublesome computer-driven works, and it seemed to be a proper sort of fix. The Cathlamet paid her dues, and she dropped out of the news, which remained the case till 1986. It was in late September when her temper flared again, and she bashed that same poor dock she had before. But as if to show her spite, took an even bigger bite, doing damage that could cost $1 million more. She's the terror of the inland seas, a monster of the waves, and you'll find her on the Whidbey Island top. Tell us why it is, Cathlamet, when you see a dock you ram it, and why nothing seems to make you want to stop. Once again she was inspected, but the troubleshooters groaned. There were troubles here they simply couldn't shoot. And it made the skippers nervous when they put her back in service. 3 more times they'd had to pull her from the route. So it seems the basic question to examine in this case, as we look for some solution to our fears, is just what on earth to do with a vessel nearly new, with a savage taste for pylons and for piers. Now some demolition companies may want her for their own, but her fighting spirit should be kept alive. Let's not sell the boat or hide it, but charge twice as much to ride it, and give medals to the folks who can survive. She's the terror of the inland seas, a monster of the waves, and you'll find her on the Whidbey Island top. Tell us why it is, Cathlamet, when you see a dock you ram it, and why nothing seems to make you want to stop. And why nothing seems to make you want to.
Your attention, please. Now loading lanes 1 and 2, Cathlamet, non-stop service for Whidbey Island.